So, I was not gonna do a trade recap video today, but I did get my live account to start working, and yeah, so my accounts were just not working today because on Tradeovate I can't log in, but my live account did end up working. Well, my funded accounts, they were cooked. I just got my live last night, and um, it just got activated this morning, actually around 12. And I wasn't gonna take a trade today, but this is not even my session, and um, yeah, I don't know. The trade setup was just too nice and too obvious and like too cheap. Honestly, 5 point stop. Um, but yeah, this is my live account. I actually got out like way down here for about like 500 or 800 or so. Um, but yeah, this is all live. It's the real funds. I got out pretty freaking early just because I didn't want to risk anything. Um, I didn't want to risk my real life funds. So yeah, did this trade on my live account, and my confluences were in this 1 and 4 hour BPR gap, and basically a BPR gap would be this Fair Value gap paired with this inversion Fair Value gap, and then we also get a liquidity sweep to the downside from sell side, and then we get a nice 30-second inversion right here. So this little cheeky inversion with speed and strength, and well, we didn't actually enter right here, but this is what it pretty much looked like. And then we were out at this 50% concentrated encroachment of this 3 minute breaker. I mean, 3 minute OB. It's now a breaker, but this 3 minute OB right here. I use the 3 minute OB because the five is basically just one candle, and the two is nasty, and the three just looks the cleanest. So I use like the cleanest one. But yeah, we're out right here, and then it like came back down and skyrocketed it up, which is super unfortunate. But um, yeah, so we just missed out on 60 points, but it's whatever. I just got 800 real dollars in like 3, 6, 9, 12 minutes. Literally like 12 minutes. So, yeah. Imagine getting 812 minutes, dude. Live account. Like, it's all live. I could take it out right now if I wanted to. I could literally take it out right now if I wanted to. Um, but yeah, that was the trade idea right there. Pretty good. I honestly should have been using micros, just so I could take a partial at my my where my TP actually was, and then I could have rode this for another 60 points, which would have been like 30 points actually if I'm using half size. Um, but yeah, this is usually not even my session, but the trade was too obvious and too cheap. I honestly should have upped my risk using the two contracts. Um, Otherwise, then I could have also had a partial right here and then full close up here. But yeah, um, my TP was also, oops, was also targeting this LR, which is low resistance liquidity resting, which usually always gets hit. Um, I think in my other videos, I showed it being like a good liquidity sweep too. It's like this is LR, these two highs right here. This would be, if this reverses right now, this would be a Toro soup. It's just an internal liquidity sweep to external, which external would be this New York PM low, but there's not enough time in the day. Plus, I technically would have to be up by 3:10 p.m. if I was still in this trade. Um, just because I can't do overnight trades, no matter if it's funded or live. But um, but yeah, pretty obvious. Um, there's also an AMD setup. Forgot to mention that. There's accumulation right here, manipulation taking out this low for this external, and then distribution to the upside. Um, but kind of do wish I did use more contracts. The trade was so cheap, I wouldn't have mind if I lost. Um, but yeah, that was that trade idea that I took on my live account, and then yeah, I couldn't get my funded accounts to work because of freaking TradeAway. I turned two-factor authentication on, but it wouldn't let me like sign in and then like allow TradingView or whatever, and I couldn't even sign in back on TradeAway because my freaking two-factor authentication. But I did um, message my like platform guy, and platform guy like contacted like TradeAway or something, and they sent me an email, and then I sent them an email back, and they never got to me back. So I'm hoping they get to me back by the end of by like 5 or technically 6 if you're in like New York time. But yeah, before the next day at least, so I can actually do something tomorrow. I want to really just turn off that two-factor authentication. Like I don't even need it. I don't know why I turned it on. But yeah, so the trade idea I would have had this morning. We'll do some mock trades, a little study session for you guys here. Um, yeah, here's like a little accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. This is technically within the range still. I wouldn't really care about this. Um, it's still in the range, but this is a real liquidity sweep. This is a little turtle soup, and then we take out this LR, and then we hit this big L BPR, not BPR yet, for value gap right there. Where the heck are we? So right here. So I think this is it right here. Wait, is it? Where the heck are we? This is not even the right session. So right here. This is what happened. It was like within this range, and then it swept lower, hit this 15 when it first presented. And then we're looking for inverse to the upside. Why would we look for this data wick high instead of this data low, right? It's already trending down. Why would we look for this data wick high instead of this data wick low? It's because this wick is so much bigger than this little wick down here. Like this wick is actually important. It doesn't fully take out like the high, but I mean, technically it kind of does take out data wick high. If you look on the 1 minute here, like technically like this would be the high. I don't know why, but like I don't know. It's just like I don't even know, bro. But I would have targeted this as well, and I would have got BE. But here's the trade I actually would have taken. Like, there's obviously no inversions right here, not even on the 30-second. See, it doesn't leave a for value gap right here, which is kind of sucky, but it is market open. Or anywhere right here either. But you get a change in the state of delivery right here, and then it inverses this whole leg as well right here. So you would have entered somewhere around here for like, where is it? 42 points. And then your stop would be, this would be an order block. And then this would be a fair value gap as well. So you would be protected. So you're looking at about 1 to 2-ish. If you, this 1 minute, it would be a lot cleaner. And we can like mark out this OB because we just want our stop to be below 50%. So it'd be like right here for exactly 1 to 2 right there. But yeah, that would have been the trade idea. We would have got BE anyways. I'd say BE would probably be this for value gap or this order block or this wick high. They're all good BEs. But yeah, it technically doesn't get taken out, and it does hit consequent encroachment of this. It hits like the 0.79 of this wick. Oops. Of this wick right here. So it hits like pretty much a little over 0.79, but yeah. And you get this speed, legit speed to the downside here. Right here, boom, downside, 30-second inversion inverses all freaking fair value gaps, and you get a change of the state of delivery, and then he also turns this breaker or order block into a breaker block, and yeah, and then you'd get a move down. Honestly, you would have probably taken it on ES instead of NQ, but I don't mind NQ trade idea here either, because it looks just as clean to the downside as it does as ES. Okay. I mean, there's like a lot of trading opportunities in here. I did have this one marked out too because I like this one a lot. It shows weakness to the upside, and I believe it inversed a 5-minute fair value gap, the first presented 5-minute fair value gap. Okay, no, it doesn't, but it like almost does. But I think all the lower time frame ones do. So it's just a 5 that's holding. Wait, did the 15-minute flip? Oh, it doesn't flip until this candle. But yeah. So I guess I marked it out because it must have been a cheap trade, honestly. I mean, 17 points. It's not that cheap, but it's decently cheap. But yeah, you get an inversion right here. You get a retest until a 1 minute for value gap, I believe. So 1 minute inversion, 1 minute for value gap, little cheeky, tiny one. But yeah, it really just depends on where your draw is at. So I'd say your break even would be this low right here. So that's your break even. What is that gonna be? 921, and then this would be, it's gonna be about 31 points away. So I mean that's decent break even. It's a little far, but yeah, you just have too many confluences, and your draw liquidity is literally right there. But yeah, I would have taken this one rather than this one. But this one's pretty obvious too. It's just a continuation to the downside, with edge low just being right there. Then it reverses to the upside, and this is a very, very good trade too. We get an SMT right here. What the heck? SMT right here. We go into that 1 and 4 hour BPR gap. Why is it making me go all the way over here? Where are we? Yeah. So we swept Asia low. Where the frick did I just mark that at? So somewhere down here. So we hit the consequent encroachment of this BPR gap. Except we almost completely failed the whole IFVG. But yeah, we get an SMT at the lows. And then you get an inversion to the upside. I think you would have taken the 1 minute instead of the 30-second. Because I think this is the same leg as the 1 minute. Yeah, and the 1 minute just looks super, super clean, super basic A+ setup. But yeah, I think we mitigated a 5 minute for value gap right here. So this would be your break even, honestly, right there. And your long position. Honestly, my stop would have been under the fair value gap too for about 20 points. And then you go get all this LR out right there to 165 points. I would do that. This is a this pretty obvious A plus setup, 165 points right there. Um, but this wick, I actually noticed this wick, and it matched up super well with the fib and balancing out this whole leg right here. So boom. So it's about this 0.62 mark, and then it hits this unmitigated 5 minute, this big 5 minute gap. And then you could, if you were watching, like, you'd see the reaction where it just went all the way up, and then you get a, I think you get a 30-second inversion out of it. Like, right. It'd have to be like, is there a 1 minute? There is a 30-second, but it's way up there. Okay, there's a 1 minute right here. So this 1 minute, you'd enter again right there, and then you'd catch like another 80 points or so, or whatever it is. But yeah, that would have been pretty good trade too. We can look at it right there. I probably would have just entered. All right, I guess it's 120 points. So yeah, that's pretty freaking good. But yeah, those were like all the trade ideas. Um, there's probably some in lunch, but I wasn't there during lunch. I was freaking talking to my guys and like eating and shit. But yeah, pretty clean day, pretty obvious day. I mean, if I don't figure out my trade of it stuff tomorrow for my fundage, I'm just gonna trade live. I might be doing like, honestly, at least 2 contracts. Um, so yeah, I did create a little buffer for 2 contracts, but I mean, 2 contracts is kind of pushing it. But I would like to use 2 contracts just to take partials and manage my risk a little bit. Even though using 2 contracts is kind of not managing my risk that well, but you know, if I take a good setup, one trade, win or lose, for 2 contracts, I wouldn't be mad at it because I'd have the next day with and I'd honestly only be trading in the morning because I believe it is gonna be Wednesday, so there's gonna be, I guess it's only PPI. So Wednesday is gonna be a normal trading day. I thought it was FOMC. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, yeah. So I'll probably be trading live tomorrow. If my fundeds are not freaking working or whatever. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Any questions? I don't know if I explained it, my trades that well, or if the ideas or whatever. Um, I just use like inversions, liquidity sweeps, and breaker blocks pretty much. That's really it. And figure out where your drawn liquidity is like the biggest part of trading. Um, like, even though this is like way down in discount, uh, your drawn liquidity is just right there. Like, this is a clean setup right here. It's still a clean setup. Um, but yeah, you just gotta know where your drawn liquidity is. Like, okay, we're in a 5 minute for value gap, we're in a 15 minute for value gap, but your draw is right there, and you'd have to flip everything to the upside again with no liquidity, you know? So, yeah. But CPI did take out near PM high anyways, which would have been a daily high as well. And I'm pretty sure we were in a daily for value gap. or a new day opening. I'd have to look on a 15-minute, like right here. But yeah, so yeah, pretty bearish. But this is still a good market. You could be longing or shorting and still make money. So yeah, that's it for me today. Ask questions in the comments or whatever, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.